because people have been aggressively waving at me a lot today. What is that sound I keep hearing behind me? Oh, I'm dragging a child's kite. How long have I been dragging that for? And why didn't any of these nice people tell me?
This song hits home for me. You see a lot of violence outside and you get used to it after a while.
For the past 4 weeks, we have been teaching the kids about telling their own story. You know, they listen to music all the time and they don't recognize that a lot of these artists and stuff like that they're really just telling their own story through lyrical pieces.
Our goal each and every day is to get every single young king to tap into his ability and his voice, to constantly allow them to, feel more comfortable even in those spaces that might not be as safe, but to be brave and to speak up for those things that they know they need to vocalize.
So I really want them to find their internal value, find things that they're passionate about through this program.
And that's what MBK is all about, is we come together and we're trying to just help coach them along through their processes to make sure that partnerships like this and others, that they'll be safe enough to be able to say, oh, I can do something that I've never done before.
What do you know about Dog Walker Watch?
I think it's a great program where dog walkers like me who are out and about in their neighborhood every day. They're the eyes and ears of the neighborhood, providing an extra set of eyes to the police. If you see something, say something.
It absolutely makes a difference because it will weed out the crime because they know that we're saying hello and greeting and that we've made eye contact and that I see you.
It's easy. You're going to walk your dog anyway. You're going to say hello to your neighbors anyway. You're going to be walking through on a daily basis, so it's just important to contribute back to your community. Well, how I got involved, Randolph from Englewood Neighborhood Center, which is the neighborhood center that I grew up in. I just love the idea because growing up at the shop that I grew up in, they gave me an opportunity, so why not give back?
I always loved art, like in any type of form. If it's drawing, tattoo, graffiti, haircuts, anything. So once I turned 16, I got involved with the program. Since then, I've been working here at the barbershop and learning new things.
He comes in, he helps out with a lot of just, the basics, from sweeping hair to standing behind somebody's chair asking questions. And I think him seeing my actions and the way I move and how everything functions, I think he picks up on a lot of that as well. But
the thing that I learned so far is the more customers you can gain in the barber industry it's not just by cutting hair and like cutting good. That's not what barbering is all about. It's also having a connection with your clients and understanding them. And they were just teaching us how to manage our money, save it, and just use it properly in the proper way.
From business owner to business owner, if we can help and the more people get involved, the better the chances are that these young men growing up and young women growing up, they can change their life.
I want to be a barber, and I also want to have my own business in the barber industry as well.
Good afternoon and welcome to the April 24th, 2023 meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation and the pledge led today by Commissioner Hill.
Okay. Do we do the invocation and then pledge? Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Dyer, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to do a poem by Edgar Guest. With all the hurdles and preemptions and home rules and different things going on and crisis that we've seen, sometimes it get tough. And I just wanted to read something encouraging. It's by Edgar Guest, and it said, "It couldn't be done." Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckled reply that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till we tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it He started to sing as he tackled the thing that it couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that, or you'll never do this. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat, and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he begun at it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quitted, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands of prophecies of failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one, the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just sing in and start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, because you can do it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. I call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make a determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray, Commissioner Ortiz,
Here.
Commissioner Stewart,
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan,
Here.
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Burns,
Here.
Mayor Dyer.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's take up for consideration the minutes of the workshop agenda review and city council meetings of April 3rd. Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Okay, we don't have any awards presentations and recognition, so I will go right into the mayor's update. And I just want to comment on two items on the consent agenda, and the first is very exciting. B11 is a lease agreement to bring the City Beautiful Cafe to the first floor of City Hall. And the cafe is going to be operated by the owners of Bim Bom, which is one of my favorite restaurants in the Audubon Park Garden District Main Street. And AJ, who is the owner, is here sitting next to Lori Botts. So thank you, AJ. And AJ just told me he anticipates a July, somewhere around there, opening. So that'll be great, and we look forward to that. So,
Hey, Mayor, can I lobby for chorizo?
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
Just for the record, best lamb burger in all of Orlando is at Bim Bom. Thanks for being here, AJ. Okay. The other is, well, in Commissioner Gray's absence, item D3 is the approval for grant funding to develop a little over 4-acre park in Lake Nona. It'll have basketball and pickleball courts, picnic areas, a playground, walking trails, a teen area, splash pad, bike trail, and much more. And that new green space brings our number of parks, gardens, neighborhood centers, and playgrounds to almost 150, and they certainly all enhance the quality of life here in Orlando. With that, we will move to the consent agenda, and the consent agenda is a number of items that are voted on a single vote. We allow our commissioners to update you on important things from their district, and also reference to items on the consent agenda. We rotate the order that we do that. Commissioner Hill's first up today.
Thank you, Mayor. And I also want to say that I support B11. I can't wait to have the aroma of food back in the air of City Hall. I'm welcome. I haven't gone to Bombay, but I look forward to going downstairs. Yes. I would say I advocate for some collard greens on the side, but I know you don't do that. But we'll try. And then also H1, I am in support of the grant that we're going out for our community-oriented policing services. As you know, one of the things that we have tried to do at OPD is attacking violent crimes. And as we see a rise throughout the nation, and gunfire and gunplay. I'm so glad to get this, hopefully get this extra money for that, to put more officers on the street to make sure that we're continuing to keep our city safe. Through Chief's leadership, Chief Eric Smith, we have seen violent crimes reduction, but I know this will assist along with this community policing and putting more school resource officers in our schools to keep our children and teachers safe, which is our special jewels. So I will be voting yes on that and approving it. And then as far as some of my goings, I was able to join the Leach firm on Friday 14th, where they had a golf tournament. They raised over $15,000 for our Jones High a booster club. So thank you to the Leach firm for their efforts there and helping myself and Commissioner Burns Alumni High School. And then I went on to the After School All-Stars golf tournament held at Shingle Creek, where Lisa Early's team and Tyler and also just many great community sponsors, we were able to raise over $100,000 for our After School All-Stars, which put tutorial programs together, jobs, along with school advocates in many of our urban schools here in the city of Orlando, primarily the east side and the west side of Orlando. So these resources are much needed and we're much grateful. Then I joined on Saturday 15. One of the things that we're doing under Mayor Dyer's leadership and Lori Bott's assistance and through our sustainability program, with some of the lots that we have in the Paramore area, we're converting those lots into farmlets, which have hydroponic gardens on it and other little lots along with apiary, until we decide what we're going to develop on those plots. But it's really been, with the South Street Farm, have done tons and tons of fresh fruits and vegetables to go out to that Paramore community and to some of our community centers. And this is going to be an added addition there in a food desert. So thank you, Mayor, for your support in those efforts and leadership, and also Daniel Freeland and his team, and Laura, of course, securing those lots for us couldn't be done without you. I'd like to thank Bank of America also, which has been the sponsor to help us do the build out and to obtain that container, which is almost a $200,000 container. Then I joined Mayor Dyer on Wednesday the 19th, where we kicked off our summer youth employment program, where this summer the city youth program will be hiring over 600 youth here in the city of Orlando through the partnership of CareerSource and some other grant opportunities that our Parks and Recreation went out and sought. We know that this is just truly needed. During the summer, we see an increase in kids making some of the wrong, poor decisions, but through Brenda March and her team, working with Reginald Burrows, we're going to make sure that these kids not only are working, but through some of our partnerships with ViStar and some other credit unions, they're learning financial literacy, budgeting, leadership skills, and all the great things that go with becoming a young adult and being prepared for their future through job training. Then I joined Mayor Dyer for our kickoff over at OIA for our Bright Line coming online here hopefully in July. It's economical and especially for a family of 4 traveling from Orlando to Miami or Miami here. It was just really an amazing event, and to see this new modal tone of transportation coming right here to Central Florida and all those opportunities that it's going to offer. My most exciting part, Mayor, is when they talked about kicking off a job training program at the base camp. It's going to be quite amazing to be able to train our local youth and young adults to go over there and understand how to do maintenance on these trains and all of the engineering and things of that sort. So it's just a bright future for all. And with that, you can go to my social media, Community Commissioner Regina Hill, District 5, for all the other updates that we've been doing. With that, I'll pass it to Commissioner Burns.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Burns.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to just start off on somewhat of a somber note. You all may have heard in the news that Easter Day, there was some killings, some murders that happened, some shooting that happened. And on that day, I woke up to the news of a shooting on Grand Street. And as I was traveling to go meet with the family, I got a call about a shooting in Carver Shores. And if I'm correct, there was about 7 individuals that lost their lives, stemming from 7 years old to, I think Ms. Fulmer was about 60, all needless killings, domestic in nature. So I just, want to commend this council for the investment that we've made into our youth. We need to continue to do that. But we as a community have to come together to do what we can individually to combat the needless killings that we have seen happen over the last few months. So again, my heart goes out to those families. But again, I do commend, Mayor and this council for doing what we can as an investment to prevent this from happening. Also, on April the 5th, I had the opportunity to tour the Orlando Economic Partnership downtown office and took a deeper look at the Digital Twin project being designed for the 40 square miles of Metro Orlando, the Metro Orlando area. I enjoyed learning more about this initiative and the benefits related to the future growth of our community and how it could potentially aid us in bringing more businesses to relocate in this area. So I thank the team from OEP for hosting me. Also, on April the 14th, had the opportunity to sponsor and participate in the All-Star Kids Classic Golf Tournament that's put on by our friends at the After School All-Stars. I want to commend Tyler and his team, the After School All-Star team. They do a great job. I had a lot of fun. Didn't play as well as I usually play, but we had a good time. So, and the money, as Commissioner Hill mentioned, goes into supporting our youth programs. Also, I had the opportunity on April the 21st to attend the Earth Day Work Day, along with Mayor Dyer and a few other commissioners. It was a very educational time for me where, we learn more about green living, recycling, and the sustainability of our community. So I thank our team for doing such a great job there. Also, this past weekend, I had the opportunity of attending the MLK's Mayor Youth Humanitarian Breakfast. And this event recognizes 27 outstanding high school students selected by their schools as MLK's Youth Humanitarians. I was honored to attend and just encourage these youth to continue their work in following the legacy of Dr. King. Lastly, I was able to participate in the Puerto Rican parade. Had a great time, and the theme was economic growth and business opportunities. So again, thank you for the committee that pulled that together. And in closing, this Wednesday, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, they're hosting their South Atlantic Regional Conference here in Orlando. And one of their community services, they partnered with Denny's, and they will be providing free breakfast to the community. So that will be Wednesday, April the 26th at the James R. Smith Center. And they will be providing free breakfast from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I encourage everyone to come out, enjoy a free breakfast, but also if you know someone who can't come out, take them a plate. And again, thank you for the partnership and all that the AKAs do in our community. And that's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me start by also supporting item H1 and H2. It's great we're getting those grants to help our law enforcement community, especially with all the challenges we've been having lately. So kudos to our team. Looking forward to see the results on that and getting more police officers. So on Thursday, April 13th, I attended the grand opening of Angels Insurance Group, and I want to thank our Gateway District for assisting them with facilitating the event and also to move into the Cimarron Quarter, another great business in that quarter. It was a pleasure being there to welcome them to District 2. And following Commissioner Burns and Commissioner Hill's comment about the All-Stars, it was a great event, but what is really neat is the fact that because of what they're doing, we have been able to see the decrease in juvenile crime. When we keep our kids that busy, by the end of the day, the only thing they can do is sleep, you know. And they're busy all throughout the day, so it's always great to raise funds for them. On Saturday, April 15th, I attended the Englewood Elementary 5K. And this was pretty interesting. The goal of the race is to raise funds for school programs like the running club, as well as funding projects such as adding canopies to the basketball courts at Englewood Elementary. So I want to thank all their teams over there, but this is pretty interesting. There must have been about, 50 runners, quite a bit. An 11-year-old kid won the 5K race. 11-year-old kid. This kid, I thought he had just gone around a loop or something. I said, how come this kid is first, you know? And he was first. He ran the 5K. So I'm waiting to see what happens with him in the future because I think he's going to be one of our stars. I also had the pleasure of joining Dover Shores East for a neighborhood barbecue, and thank you to Dover Shores East HOA for the invitation. And great company. It's always nice to getting to spend time with the community. We have today an iconic personality around here, and I would just want to make sure that people know we have Melvin downtown. There he is in that corner, so I just want to say hello. Melvin, he is definitely an iconic personality in downtown Orlando, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor, and since Jim's not here, I'm going to take an extra 30 or 40 minutes talking a little bit about what's going on, and I will tell you that most everything I've got to share is on my website, but I do want to share a couple of things. First, we had a great Mills 50 cleanup with Ivanhoe Village together. We had about 100, the best guess was 132. I think there's more that showed up later on, but we had a chance to send people all up and down Mills as well as up and down Virginia and into the portions of the neighborhood to do some cleanup. It was wonderful. They collected over 1,300 pounds of debris, and I'm really thrilled about what the turnout. It was just really, we had Coca-Cola and Lowe's, and I'm trying to think there's one or two others that were there, and then a bunch of individuals that decided to come up. So thank you to our Green Up group that coordinated that. I want to say a special thank you to Lisa Wilson. We talked about it today. It was 35 years of service to the city. She's not, I don't think she snuck in, but she is oftentimes the first line of defense or the first voice you hear. I'm sorry, I said it the wrong way, didn't I? When somebody calls in and has done a wonderful job, I appreciate her. Special kudos to the After School All-Stars Tournament and work that you do on that, Tony. Thank you very much for that. I know you're on that board and it's a lot of work. I had the opportunity to represent the city over at the retirement banquet for Bishop Greg Brewer from the Episcopal Diocese. Had a wonderful time spending time with many old friends. But I've known Greg as long as he's been here. He's retiring after 11 years. We've got a new bishop coming in. Excited about that. But Greg's just got a really neat heart. And so, Mayor, I had an opportunity to extend your greetings to him. And I'd love to get a chance to invite him down here sometime during the summer just to say thank you for the work he's done for our community. Some up-and-coming events real quickly. The White Rose Tribute event is coming up this week on the 27th. We are still looking for lifeguards, and we keep on asking, and we'll train. And I think it's $15 to $17 an hour, which is kind of excited about that. So thank you for those who have responded. We're still looking for more. If you know somebody who plays water polo or swims on the swim team who's a junior or senior in high school, we'll take them. Because the hardest part is teaching them how to swim. We can teach them all the rest of the stuff pretty easy. Casa Culture is having their first anniversary celebration over at Orlando Fashion Square. It's an arts, equity, and entrepreneurial development program. Love to have anybody come out and be a part of that on the 28th. Pause for Peace is coming up over in Blue Jacket Park, and a couple of things on the calendar. I just mentioned Virginia Drive Live is on the 29th. The CP&A meeting, the College Park Neighborhood Association, is on the 1st. Ivanhoe Village is doing a State of the Village on the 3rd of May, and then the College Park Main Street's having their Spring Fest on May 6th. So there's a lot going on with this springtime. I appreciate it. AJ, congratulations. Thank you. Love having you there. We appreciate it. I want to mention a couple things on the agenda. Welcome to Ashley Pennington. Is Ashley here? Ashley is our new sustainability officer, I think, right? Is that correct? Sustainability? So I got a chance to meet her last week and talk to her during Earth Day, so appreciate her being here. B3, we're finally doing some design work to finish up the lift station 85 out in the Rosemont area. Excited about that moving forward. We added a charging station to the packing district, so I can get, Commissioner Sheehan can come over and get a chance to have a meal and charge, so appreciate that. And then, of course, I think what's important, what we do is do joint use agreements with Orange County schools so we can do programs during the summer. So one of the things on the day on D1 is a joint use agreement between Princeton Elementary and the College Park Neighborhood Association to do our summer program. So they use our facility during the school year, during the school time. We get a chance to exchange and use theirs during the summer for classrooms. And I want to say one special thing to our police department. I've had an opportunity now to work with Captain Wes Whited. I want to tell you how much I appreciate what he's doing. Jim, please pass that along to the rest of the crew. He's our new North Patrol commander, and he's just been really nice to work with. And everyone I've worked with has been wonderful, don't get me wrong. But he's just kind of a take charge kind of guy, and has been doing a wonderful job responding to citizen concerns, and I appreciate that a great deal. I think that translates down to everybody across the department as well as down underneath his command. So I just want to say a special thank you to that. So thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer, and I will be abstaining from voting on ordinance number 2023-16, which is ordinance first reading number 1, which is annexing property located at 2414 South Brown Avenue. I have let the clerk know, and I have filed the appropriate form, and I guess you can kind of read between the lines as what this is about. But I just got a call from a resident this morning who had her fence taken from a developer who bought the property next door to her. And, this is getting to be a real problem in our city. If you're a long-term resident, it's hard for you to prove ownership because you don't have the original building permit or whatever. And, it's one thing for me. I have the resources. I can take it to civil court and deal with that. But a lot of these residents don't have that ability. And when someone steals a fence from you, that could cost a resident thousands and thousands of dollars. Fencing isn't cheap like it used to be. Even a chain link fence is almost $29 a linear foot now. So I think we need to do something to protect our residents, because this is really getting out of control. When I'm having this experience, I'm getting calls from residents who are having this experience. And I think we need to have some kind of a pre-existing situation for long-term residents so that they're not dealing with developers coming in and just taking their property. And not everybody has the ability to do a civil case. So again, I think it's important for us to look into. I know we're trying to get out of the fence, with not requiring permits and things like that, but I think we need to deal with the unintended consequences, because a fence is an important thing for a lot of people. It's your security, and I think this is something that we certainly need to look into. I also want to welcome Milton. We ran into him at a restaurant earlier, and glad you were able to show up today, Milton. We're always glad to see you and your smiling face. One of the most positive people you will ever meet in your entire life. And he's a District 5 resident. Yes, ma'am. Item B4 on the agenda today, American grinding. A lot of people ask why we do the grinding, and actually they do the grinding on the sidewalks so they can figure out where we need to go replace them. And it's very important because, we want to make sure people aren't falling and all that kind of thing. So it's an important function. We appreciate that. Also, on the agenda today, appearance review for Lake Eola Park Master Plan. I know we're going through the process. It's going to take a while for us to get all that wish list done, but I'm glad to see that moving forward. And let me see. And that's all I had today. With that, I will we'll move the consent agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Ortiz. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And so the motion carries. If there's anybody that was just here for consent agenda, now would be a good time to make your way out. Okay, we don't have CRA or NID or OPEB, so let's go to hearings on first read, Madam Clerk. Number 1.
Ordinance number 2023-17, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to special use permit requirements for downtown businesses open past midnight, amending Chapter 58, Part 1B of the Land Development Code entitled Zoning Tables, and Chapter 65, Part 5A, Section 65.544 of the Land Development Code entitled Late Night Uses in the Downtown Entertainment Area, providing legislative findings and for codification, correction of scrivener's error, severability, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment? Seeing none, discussion, hearing none, all in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, let's move to hearings ordinances on second reading, number 1.
Ordinance number 2023-9, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to the city's growth management plan, amending future land use sub-area policy S.40.9 to increase the allowable development program, providing for amendment of the city's growth management plan, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public, Madam Clerk?
No speakers, Mayor.
Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2023-13, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to certain land generally located north of Roush Avenue and south of Baldwin Park, comprising approximately 1.6 acres of land, more or less, designating the property as the planned development zoning district with the aircraft noise overlay district on the zoning maps, providing a site plan and special land development regulations for the planned development, providing for amendment of the city's official zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Ortiz. I have no cards for public participation, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Ordinance number 2023-19, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the 7445 Narcoossee Road Planned Development Zoning District, generally located east of Narcoossee Road, south of Levis Boulevard, north of the Beach Line Expressway, S State Road 528, west of the Central Florida Greenway, State Road 417, to rename the planned development and add approximately 4.9 acres of land, more or less, providing for an increase to the development program, amendment of the legal description, and amendment of the development plan, providing for amendment of the city's official zoning map, providing that prior ordinance is still in effect, providing for permit disclaimer, correction of scrivener's error, severability, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. I have no cards for public participation, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, ordinances on first read, number 1.
Ordinance number 2023-16, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located north of East Crystal Lake Avenue, east of Mayor Street, west of South Brown Avenue, and south of Page Avenue, and comprised of 0.161 acres of land, more or less, and amending the city's boundary description, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to designate the property as residential low intensity on the city's official future land use maps, designating the property as 1 to 2 family residential on the city's official zoning maps, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Hill. I have no cards for public participation, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, number 2.
Ordinance number 2023-18, an ordinance of the City of Orlando granting Extreme Disposal, Inc. a non-exclusive franchise to provide roll-off container collection and disposal of solid waste within the City of Orlando, outlining franchisees' duties and providing the terms and conditions under which such franchise shall operate, providing for severability and an effective date.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. I have no cards. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, that's all the formal business. Ed, will you get us ready for general appearance?